Welcome to Zone In Sports, your favorite spot for real talk, bold takes, and everything in the zone when it comes to sports. From hard-hitting analysis of the Miami Hurricanes football to the hottest stories across the sports world, we're bringing you that energy, passion, and a little bit of swagger, just like the U. So whether you're tailgating in the Coral Gables or arguing in the group chats or just vibing in your way to work, buckle up. You're in the zone with your host, D. Hamp.
All righty, we got a jam-packed show today. We had to go a little hour earlier because hopefully you guys, I got a draft party to go to. So we just going to hop right into it. This list here that we're going to cover today, you guys seen the thumbnail, it was ranking the Miami Hurricanes top 30 players as Mario Cristobal embarks on year 4. So we're going to hop right into it. I think this is going to be a good one. And we're starting off at number 1. We have Carson Beck. Carson Beck is a 6-year. He was actually a transfer over to the University of Miami. The great thing about Carson, I think he's going to do great things at the University of Miami. A lot of praise has been bestowed on Carson since he came over there. So it's good to see him. He's going to be, of course, the number 1 that they deem is essential to the U. Coming in at number 2, I thought this was interesting, is my man Ruben Bain. We was talking about him behind the scenes. Ruben Bain coming in at number 2 on the list. He is class of 2023 ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year. You guys know he was injured last year. So we're looking for great things for him to bounce back on that. And I think he gonna have a solid year on coming back from that. I think a lot of people.
He lost 10 pounds of body fat. He said he's down to his high school weight when he first got as a freshman. Him and a few guys, just whatever strength and conditioning they're doing is working, because a lot of these guys have lost a lot of body fat, and Fletcher's another one. They're moving a lot better.
Right. Number 3 coming in on the list is Francis. Now, Francis is another recruit, class of 2024, 6'6", 330, beast out there. Now, as we talking about this list here, well, let me just go on to the keep talking. Number 4 is Zachariah Poyser. He was a transfer. Everybody know, if you're a Miami fan, you know he transferred in. So he was number 4. Number 5 on the list is, let's see here, is Wesley the Saint. Now, the interesting thing about Wesley is a recruit, 2022, 6'1", 232. Finished second on the team in tackles with 59, 2 sacks, 1 interception, and played 1,352 snaps. Now, as I was going to say before, that's top 5 right now. The interesting thing on this list, 16 of the 30 are recruits, 14 are transfers, and 12 out of the 16 recruits are from the state of Florida. So for a lot of guys that was saying that Mario don't get the guys down in the yard, I know they want to see those numbers a little bit higher, but
and they will be higher. Just be patient.
Yeah, it will be higher. I thought that's a great mix, of coming in with those guys. Now, for you guys that will say it's the recruits that is 12, not guys that went some other place and then came back that were from the state, So just want to clarify that before they, get on me about that. Number 6, who is? Inez Cooper. Now, Inez, you and I had talked a lot about Inez behind the scenes, and good thing about Inez, He seemed to got himself in check. Class of 2022, 6'4", 335, played 2,106 snaps. So great things about Inez. Anything you want to say about old Inez there?
Beast. Beast. I watched him in the Louisville game last year. Beast.
Yeah.
We ain't even said nothing about Markel Bell. Beast.
Right.
The other
Right.
guard spot. Come on, man.
Right.
Tackle's getting all the attention.
Right.
And then we got the center that transferred, I believe, from TCU. He was the Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year last year. So that's why they say in Miami, I would say them and Notre Dame got the best O-lines in the country.
Right. All right. Okay. Number 7 is Mohamed Toure, linebacker transfer from Rutgers, 6'2", 236.
Mm-hmm.
When he played in Heatherman, when he played with me, he had 93 tackles, led the team tackle for loss at 9.5 tackles for losses, and 4.5 sacks. Number 8, Elijah Lofton, tight end recruit, 2024, 6'3", 238. And no true freshman played more snaps last season than he played. So, he got on the field, he showed out. Number 9 was Mark Fletcher, another recruit, class of 2023, 6'2", 225. He averaged 5.42 yards per carry, 9 touchdowns on 112 carries. Number 10.
His current weight, Dwayne, because they said he lost 10 pounds and got leaner, and he said he's moved. I think he's 215 now.
Okay, well, that's what they reported, so I'm not really sure. Number 10, rounding out top 10, is JoJo Traylor, wide receiver, recruit 2024. What do you think about the top 10 so far? Anything you would change or?
No, I wouldn't change. No, that's a good top 10, man. I mean, JoJo is a star ready to break out. Like I just said, Fletcher, his size reminded me of Gahey. McGahey was about 6'2", was 215, 212, 217 range when he was playing.
Right.
I like that top 10. And you could have probably put some other guys in there and wouldn't have went wrong with that top 10,
Okay.
I mentioned Markel Bell, the other guard.
Okay. Are these guys?
I like that top 10, man, because you got Mesidor,
right?
You got Blunt.
Mesidor is actually number 11, transfer from West Virginia. Number 12 is Markel Bell, recruit 2024. Number 13 is Xavier Lucas, cornerback transfer, of course, from Wisconsin. Number 14 is OJ, recruit, class of 2024. Number 15 is CJ Daniels, wide receiver, transfer, LSU. That's top 15. We're going to keep on moving on. 16, Justin Scott, lineman, 2024. Armando Blunt, number 17. Defensive line recruit, 2024. Number 18 is Matthew McCoy, offensive guard, recruit, 2022. Number 19 is James Brockemeyer, transfer from TCU, center. And number 20 is David Blay, D-line transfer for La Tech. That's top 20. Now, interesting thing about that, I want people out there to know before we go down to the last 10, is that if you notice the top 20, most all of them are recruits. They're not transfers. So that tells you something about what people deem is what Mario is doing there. He's getting guys that he think that are recruits that can help the team do what they got to do.
He has not made the mistake that his counterpart in Tallahassee did a couple of years ago. And that's put all his eggs in the transfer basket and have a 13-0 team. And then as soon as your quarterback get hurt, they all declared for the draft and got agents. And then they got curb stomped by Georgia in the bowl game because all your big-time players were transfers and they opted to go sit out the game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was crazy. They ain't been the same since.
I kind of felt some type of way about that. I understood it, but I'm not even going to get on that subject. But all right, we're gonna go to the last 10. If you guys coming to the building, smash that like button and share this content if you want. And also, if you got questions, hit that super chat. We'll move you straight up to the top of the list. Number 21, Jordan Lau, running back, recruit, class of 2024. Number 22, Keelan Marion, wide receiver transfer, BYU. Number 23, Ahmad Moten, D-line recruit, 2020. Number 24 is Damari Brown, cornerback recruit, 2023. Number 25 is Malachi Tony, recruit, of course, this year, 2025. Number 26, Jacoby Thomas, safety transfer, Tennessee. Number 27 is that Kenote Scott, cornerback transfer, Houston. Number 28 is Ethan O'Connor, cornerback transfer from Washington State. Number 29 is Kamal Bonner, linebacker transfer from NC State. And number 30 is Jamar Brown, running back transfer from North Dakota State. Now, the interesting thing about the bottom half, you see where the transfer is coming in, and these guys that kind of was filling needs that, of course, we needed, or that the University of Miami needed itself. So I thought it was an interesting list. You got any disagreements in the rankings there, or any guys you probably would want to move higher or lower? Nope. Feeling pretty solid about that.
I'm solid about that.
All right. The question in the chat was, who do you guys think is the most important player? One, who was that? Dara Prater put Carson Beck. If anybody disagree with that, or they think anybody's the most important player on the team, put it in chat. Now we're going to cover it. Now, this is a funny story here. Funny to us, because Eric and I was talking before the show started, and Rhett Lashley blasted ESPN and say that the rigging in the FPI college football rankings are rigged. Now, for a lot of you guys that don't know, that the FPI rankings are a ranking system that was created by yours truly, ESPN. And I gotta throw that out there. And what they do is it's a prediction of every position, offensive line, defensive line, all that. They put it in a ranking system, and that's how they deem whether you fall in the ranking. So, and Rhett Lashley was a little bit peeved on how Clemson was ranked. Miami in June was ranked number 9, and Clemson was ranked number 11, and SMU was ranked number 15. But then all of a sudden, a new ranking comes out. Clemson is now 16. Miami drops to 17. And SMU, they did move up from 20. They was like from number 20. I'm sorry, I correct that to number 19. So it's interesting. and you know how we feel about that list. The list, you talking about the top 30 list there, with the Heart of Sports. The interesting thing about the Rhett Lashley comments, he said things that we said.
It's rigged.
Yeah.
The Sports Network got it rigged where they can have how do you move Florida ahead of Miami after what they did to them last year?
Right.
In the swamp.
Right.
How do you make that make sense?
And I don't know the percentage of Florida players coming back.
There are so many oxymorons and hypocritical comparisons and statements from the national pundits. These guys are supposed to be the experts at the Cable Sports Network, at CBS, just to name a couple. I'll give you an example. They got Clemson. Everybody's so high up on Clemson to win the ACC, right? Mm-hmm. They were 90th against the run on defense last year. They ranked in the 90th, I believe, against the run.
Right.
But yet, when you looked at the all ACC first team on the defense, they got like 4 or 5 guys from the defense as first teamers. Okay. Their defense overall ranking was in the 40s. And if Miami doesn't blow a 21-point lead at Syracuse, they don't even make the ACC title game. They weren't even supposed to go.
Right.
Then barely winning by 3. So now how all of a sudden is this team supposed to be now the favorite to win it all?
Right.
And okay, and I'll give you another example with Notre Dame. They keep saying, well, Miami's breaking in a new defensive coach and a new secondary. They say that's a question mark for Miami. Well, Notre Dame was breaking in a new defensive coach. Al Golden went to the NFL, and they have 2 new safeties starting.
Right.
So are these kind of doing the same thing?
Right.
And it's not, they don't. This is the bias towards Miami. Now, as far as the ACC goes with ESPN, this is a bias against the whole conference as a whole.
Right.
Because they, again, I've been saying this for years. ESPN has to protect their investment. Their investment is the Southeastern Conference. And now that Alabama is not the dominant team any longer, and Georgia has slipped some, they don't know who to give it to. They kind of want to give it to Texas, but Texas is a Big 12 team. I don't give a damn what you say.
Right.
Texas is a Big 12 team. They came from the Big 12, and so did Oklahoma. You had to bring these teams into the fold to make this conference somewhat relevant and to keep them on that upper echelon is where ESPN has had them for the last 10 or 15 years.
Right.
They have to protect the investment that they put $2 billion into back in 2008 and create the SEC network.
Mm-hmm.
The writing is on the wall. If people can see through the trees and see the forest, you can see this network. They put all these SEC teams up ahead: Florida, Ole Miss,
Right.
A&M, LSU. Look at it, Tennessee.
It was like 8 of the top 15 teams were
all SEC teams.
Yeah, and his point is that it's only been 6 teams to win a championship at the SEC since 1964.
Right.
So his point is, how can you say the conference has parity? That's top heavy. When you only got
top heavy.
That's top heavy, and that's his point of about the article is that it's the bias that go in because it's more competitive, and you have more teams that are competitive in the ACC than you do in the SEC, because you can't say that if Alabama, LSU, Georgia, they always win it, but Kentucky, Mississippi State,
Vanderbilt, Ole Miss,
right?
Come on,
Right?
Auburn, they not what they were,
right?
We're gonna see what Missouri all about. A&M going to field a decent squad, but are they middle of the pack or toward the top, upper echelon of the SEC? Right. So it's like this is all the bias from the cable sports network, and the Big Ten is sitting over there saying, "Hello, we don't want the last 2 national titles."
Right.
So they saying they're more competitive than the SEC right now at the Big Ten.
Right.
So, and then Fox is with the Big 12.
Right.
So again, I've been saying this. I've just heard me say it. It's a broken record. The cable sports network, with them having the majority of the coverage, the majority of the commentary, they are the majority of the AP.
One second, let me answer this question here. It says that list was published by Manny Navarro. Manny Navarro, which is his last name is Navarro. If you guys don't know him, and the title of that article was ranking the Miami Hurricanes top 30 players as Mario Cristobal embarks on year 4. All right, you go ahead and finish.
Well, it is what it is, man. There's nothing else for Miami to do but win. They have to win. They have to, again, the 2 most important games. You beat Notre Dame. That's going to change a lot of narrative in the country.
Yeah.
And you need to win the ACC. You don't just need to get there. We need to get past this I wish I can go on other platforms and say this. You need to get past this settling level. Oh, let's just get to the playoff. Let's just get to that. No. In order for this university and Mario to get respect as a coach, they need to beat Clemson in that ACC title game. And that's if they make it.
Right.
There's no guarantee they gonna make it.
Right.
I can see 3 games that they could possibly lose on the schedule. They got after the LSU game, they got to go to Atlanta and play Georgia Tech. You think Georgia Tech ain't gonna be hungry and ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
They took Georgia 8 overtimes last year. I think Georgia Tech is a sneaky good football team. They're very well coached.
Right.
For Miami, it's simple. Win the first game. This is probably going to be one of the better opponents you see all year. The Florida State game is going to be emotion because you up in Tallahassee. It's a rivalry, so you can't take them lightly. But I think if you stack up with them, mano y mano, Miami got the better talent. But sometimes better talent don't win. You got to be smart. You got to coach the game well, and you got to play within yourself as a unit.
Right.
But I think this Miami team is hungry. They're practicing harder. They said the practices on Green Tree are really intense between the offense and the defense, especially in the trenches. It's really, really intense. The wide receivers are going at it really hard with the D-backs.
Mm-hmm.
Very intense, like it used to be. They're making it really hard. And that's all they got to do. I don't see anybody stacking up outside of Notre Dame. I don't see anybody else in the conference that can stack up with them in the trenches, man.
Right. Now, what do you think about the Irish being favored in the game? The funny thing about that is
right now, I think it's 2.5.
2.5. It was a little bit higher early.
3.5.
And it came down a little bit. And I don't know if some of the point swing is because of some of the injuries that Notre Dame have. And I don't want that to even be an excuse, but we're just talking about them just being favored, not from a betting standpoint, just of coming into the game and seeing some of the stuff that they lost.
I think it has a lot to do with their favor because they're coming off a national championship game.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to give them their respect and their props. Notre Dame is a good football team.
Oh,
They're top team in the country. I'm not going to sit up here and play like, no. This is probably going to be the best team Miami plays already off the bat.
Yeah.
They have elite corners. They have an equally elite O-line. Their running back is elite.
Yeah.
So I give Miami the advantage on their O-line because their D-line is not their D-line is not that big. They don't even average 300 pounds across their defensive line. So I would give our offensive line the advantage to push them. They got some elite receivers. Their question mark is the quarterback. Is it going to be the scrambling style QB that's only had 3 starts or 4 starts in his career? Or is it going to be CJ Carr, the grandson of the coach Carr that's had no starts?
Right.
2 freshmen. Yeah. One of them can scramble a little bit and he's mobile. And they know in the past, Miami had trouble with mobile quarterbacks like Haynes King with Georgia Tech. Mm-hmm. Usually, for the most part, either NFL and college and high school, you're going to pick the team with the better quarterback and the proven quarterback.
Right.
This is nothing new to Carson Beck. He's been in big games.
Oh, why didn't they do it this time? That's the question.
Well, it's a combination.
Because just coming off of that.
It's a combination of, again, they just came off a national championship appearance with Ohio State. They're returning to a very good team. They have a really good coaching staff. And you can't negate the fact that people just don't like Miami. There is no on the fence either. You hate Miami. There ain't no on the fence.
Because if the quarterback is the most essential part of the team, and you coming in and if you got 2 quarterbacks, you ain't got 1. That's the old
saying.
There
it is. You got 2 quarterbacks, you really don't have 1, and you 2 weeks from the game and you haven't picked a starter yet.
Right.
So you haven't. Your quarterbacks have not been able to. During these practices, because they practice it like Miami and like every other team in the country.
Right.
You're not having that that gel with your one squad. I'm running the ones with this quarterback, then I'm running the ones with this quarterback, and we haven't decided on which one we want to go to yet. And they're both freshmen. And one of them had 2 or 3 starts last year, 2 or 3 in the game appearances, and that was the scrambling guy. And then he had one the year before they protected his red shirt. And then you got Carr, who's never played.
Right.
So you got 2 freshmen coming down to South Florida. This place is going to be loud and rocking like it was.
Right.
People that have forgotten, because they all said when they came down in 17, they've never been to a stadium that loud. If you ever been to Hard Rock, and you've been there, when they rebuilt it with that top,
right,
it contains the noise.
Right.
I remember the game against Georgia Tech in the rain when Mark Richt was the coach, and they had to come back and win that game, and it started raining, and the place was you couldn't even think straight. So you got 2 freshman quarterbacks coming into this type of environment. Carson Beck has been there.
Right.
He's been to SEC championship games. He won an SEC title. He's played up against Alabama and other Tennessee and Florida and Auburn defenses that have known LSU, that have known defensive line. He played in Death Valley in LSU with the Tigers against them. He's been in this type of thing. This ain't nothing new to him. You can't bring up his injury. That's old dead news. Stop bringing it up.
Right. Yeah, ain't nobody trying to hear that.
He's slinging that rock, and Miami's O-line coach, Shannon Dawson, said it. They scared to death about how much time he got to throw the ball. It's like he got a lot of time. Nothing against Cam Ward. We all love Cam Ward, but Carson Beck might have maybe not as many yards, but he may have a better season on the strength of the defense, and he got all these weapons.
Right. Hey, funny part, somebody just put a comment just up what you just said. It says Carson Beck complaining about having too much time back there online working back for Beck. Yeah.
If he ain't gonna have nothing, he'll throw it away or chuck it down to somebody.
Right.
I mean, it's I think this O-line is gonna be shades of
the time that Cam Ward had last year. It was sometimes he was just standing back there just patting the ball. It was like, good Lord. Now granted now.
They're gonna be that much better this year because they all back except for the center. And the center guy, like I said, Big 12 offensive lineman of the year last year. So I'm replacing A+ with A+.
Right.
So
yeah, it's gonna be good. It says
it's gonna be good, man. I don't, a lot of Notre Dame fans saying they're gonna come into this Hard Rock and they're gonna blow Miami out. And I'm like,
I don't see that.
You going off feelings again?
Yeah, it said I think this year will be a good year for the ACC. You got Miami, Clemson, SMU, Georgia Tech, Tech, UNC under Belichick, and last and certainly FSU. They're all decent teams except for FSU.
Well, I'm not gonna throw no shade at FSU because I would really like to see Florida State beat Alabama. I really would. I'm pulling for them in that game. I am.
They're gonna have to show me something, boy.
I really think LSU is gonna beat Clemson. I really do. I think Brian Kelly is on the hot seat. He's 0-3. This is his 4th year. He's 0-3 in the opening games at LSU. He needs this game.
Yeah. Now, going the Alabama game, I've been hearing some bad things come out of FSU with Castellanos. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I knew something was going on with him at BC.
They breaking in Alabama breaking in a new quarterback too. So they not.
Yeah, but Castellanos, man, it's
I don't know.
Something going on with him, man. They say
matchup wise, you would think Alabama gonna crush Florida
State. I heard he ain't look good in practice, and
the quarterback that came from Boston College.
Yeah, I heard he ain't look good.
He real shaky in practice.
Who
knows? I don't follow them like that. I wish them the best against Alabama. Syracuse plays at Tennessee. We're going to see what Fran Brown team all about when they go down there and play in Knoxville. So that's a big one. And then you got
Tennessee on the rebuild. They lost a lot,
They lost a lot of people.
Nico, and they lost a couple of people in the transfer portal. So
that's Syracuse's opportunity right there to make a statement.
Yeah,
I think Georgia Tech could go out to Colorado.
I think they handle business. Yeah, I think they handle business out there. I don't know if Colorado going with the rookie I mean, with the true freshmen or what, but
They got
they
some.
lost a lot.
They lost a lot. They lost a lot.
Lost all the receivers and
Um,
and the quarterback and a two-way player, the best player in the nation. So that's a lot to make up for, right there.
make up for. So I mean, Rhett Lashley said it best, man. It's rigged, and it's only rigged because, and I hate to sound like that. I'm not even gonna say the word rigged. It's just set up because the network that covers and broadcasts the majority of the games is the same network that put $2 billion behind this conference and started a network for them. They didn't take the money and spread it out amongst all of college football. They put it behind this conference. Right. And once they did that, they started pushing the narrative that this conference is the strongest conference. This conference is the best conference. Mm-hmm. And then there's no denying that the teams in that conference, starting with Bama, they were doing NIL stuff before NIL to land top players out of Texas and land all the top players out of South Florida. And they knew they were doing this. So, of course, they're going to be the top build. And this is going to be the top conference. And then a lot of kids are going to want to go to this conference because you're talking about it so much every day, all day, even games that aren't even SEC games.
Right.
Your commentators with the instructions from the executive producers at the Cable Sports Network are mentioning this conference.
Right.
Covering another conference.
Right.
For a game. I don't want to watch Miami play Virginia Tech, or I don't want to watch Oklahoma play Texas, and then all of a sudden this is a Big 12 matchup, big rivalry, Red River shootout, but you still talking about Alabama over here.
Right.
That was their way of seasoning it up, mixing their Kool-Aid and giving it to everybody for 15 years to drink.
Right.
So that's why we are where we are now.
And then, I digress, but even going back to the ESPN, then they tried the ESPN Plus where they tried to have the regional announcers, but then for the guys that want to watch a regional, you get blacked out the games. You can't even watch the games and watch the announcers that you want to watch.
It was ESPN3, and then it became ESPN Plus, and then, like you said, people got blacked out. You had to finagle your way into watching the game on TV, and hopefully somebody got it on YouTube or something. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, it's just a lot. And when they took over, and the ACC, to their credit, I think Rhett Lashley talked about the ACC, is that they're doing fine. They're making money. So you hear all these people out here acting like the ACC as a conference is not making money, but of course they are. You had the two best players go to the NBA and to the NFL, was number one, came out the ACC. So, I mean, the conference speaks for itself,
It does. It's just, like I said, the rhetoric needs to stop. I want to see middle of the pack teams from the SEC play middle of the pack teams from the ACC, and we'll see what happens,
That'll be interesting.
Cal went to Auburn. I don't know if did they beat Auburn last year? I know they had a lot of, they led the nation in picks. They had like 3 picks in that game against Auburn down there. So I want to see that. Like I said, this is going to be a big test for Syracuse to go to Knoxville and play Tennessee.
Yeah. They should do all.
Boston College went to Mizzou last year and
gave them all they could handle.
Mizzou really should have beat Mizzou. I watched that game.
Yeah.
And oh boy, for the quarterback now at Florida State he was getting off.
Yeah.
Boston College receivers was killing Missouri secondary. So, like I said, Alabama plays South Florida 2 years in a row. Right. And the score at the end, they ran the score up at the very end, but they was only up by less than a touchdown going into the fourth quarter on South Florida. Right. Remember 2 years ago, Saban's last year, South Florida came into Alabama and took them to the fourth quarter. It was like only 7-0.
Right.
On South Florida. And I think they in the AAC conference, the American Athletic Conference, with Central Florida and Memphis and Cincinnati and all them. So all this SEC juggernaut talk, these last few years was Georgia's time.
Right.
Okay, it went from Bama. LSU had their year in 19, and now Kirby finally got over the hump with Georgia and started knocking off Alabama.
Yeah.
And another thing that really gets to me with ESPN is the rhetoric about, every time Alabama and Georgia play, they want to call it a classic.
Mm.
Let's stop it.
Mm. Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
it's just an interconference game between them two.
Yeah.
It's a
Hey.
big time rivalry game, but so is Alabama Auburn. So is Texas. You took away the Texas Oklahoma rivalry, even though they both came over to the SEC. That was a big time game between them two every year.
There's a lot of stuff we could rail on them about. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this Miami dynamics forms.
Miami going to get the respect.
If they win against Notre Dame, will they get I guess the question, and this is for the fans out there, how do you think the narrative will be after the game if Miami wins? Do you think that it'll be like more Notre Dame was down, they caught them at a good time, luckily they caught them early in the season narrative, or will it be Miami looks like a championship team? Put it in the chat, let us know. What you think?
I think it's
what do you think?
First, I think if Miami win the game, they're gonna blame it on.
Right. Who had you talking about there, Nassau? Go ahead, there.
I think it's gonna be if Miami win this game. I don't care if they win the game 10-9, or if they really beat them soundly. It's gonna be because they're gonna bring up the quarterback issue with Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're gonna bring that up. If Miami has if Lyle and Fletcher and the other young man that came from North Dakota State, if they come in the game and really tee off running the rock, which I think they will, because I said Notre Dame's D-line is not, they don't even average 300 pounds on that D-line. If Miami moves them boys and them cats get to running, they're going to blame it on their D-line. They didn't have a solid quarterback going into the game.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't gel they couldn't know who's going to be gelling with the ones, here in this fall practice. They're not. The only way Miami gonna get respect, man, and they might not get it then, is they got to beat Clemson in the ACC title game.
Mm.
They have got to take it from them because they gonna give it to. They giving Clemson the nod because of the helmet, what's on the side of that helmet, because of Dabo. He's been there. It's a good program. They well coached.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't go into the portal a lot, but Miami has finished number one in the ACC with recruiting the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
they've been number one in recruiting. So it's a slight to Miami that you keep bumping Clemson ahead, even though they coming out. They got the number one recruiting class in the ACC for the last, I want to say
3 years. I think. Yeah, I think 3 years.
They're number one in recruiting, and they've been out recruiting Dabo and Clemson. Why do you keep putting Clemson ahead of Miami?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Only because Miami just has it.
Yeah, to Miami, they got their butts whooped at home by Louisville. Okay, right. Miami went undefeated at home. They didn't get their butt whooped by anybody. They blew a lead at Syracuse. Okay, they blew a game they should have won at Georgia Tech. They didn't get blown out at home by double digits in prime time by a conference foe. The same conference team, Louisville, they played Notre Dame last year. Notre Dame didn't blow out Louisville. That was a close game. They won. Yeah. It was close.
Yeah. I think the thing with if we go back to Mario first year, of course, we knew he had to clean house. Second year, he made some mistakes. Last year, and we want to rail on the defense, but it all falls under Mario, so I think as fast they want everybody to put it together, we know it takes time, to find the right mix.
This is the year they put it together because last year, yes, it was the secondary. And Lance Guidry, as nice a guy as he is, and he's a good coach. He's a damn good coach. I'm not going to take nothing away from Lance Guidry.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk to former players, he always had his guys prepared. Where he made his mistakes is he didn't make the adjustments with the secondary.
Yeah.
He saw early in the season what the deficiencies were with the secondary, and he didn't make his adjustments with that secondary or the defensive line. They ran too many stunts. Those safeties back there, Mish Powell, that came over from Washington, he was getting carved up in practice by Restrepo and Horton. and George, they were carving that secondary up in the practices. They saw it in fall practice last year. That's why Cam and them looked so good last year in fall practice, because they was carving up that secondary. They'd seen it then.
Well, hold on. I got a question before you finish. Do you think that he didn't make the changes, or he didn't have the horses to make the changes?
It's a combination of, I would lean to the first part. He probably didn't have the horses because, once again, you lost Williams and you lost Cam Kinchens back there. That was huge. People don't understand how big that was.
Yeah.
If you take them to Miami beat Clemson in overtime 2 years ago. Remember? It was in October. They beat Clemson.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
That's the same Clemson team that's on the team now. That's out there now. The majority of that team is still there. They had world beaters at linebacker, receiver. Klubnik was the quarterback. He threw some hell of a touchdowns in that game against Miami. They had a squad. What saved Miami in that game were those two safeties.
Right.
And when you lost those two safeties, what you got in return, you traded in a Cadillac and got two Cavaliers, two Chevy Cavaliers, a couple Geo Metros. That's what you got in return. Seriously. These were your quarterbacks, because Williams could come down the box. He could tackle. He was aggressive. Cam was pretty damn good back there. He made his mistakes, but he was way better than what we had last year at safety. Yeah. So you lost a lot at safety.
Yeah.
So
that communication piece is a big.
Communication piece is what really killed them.
Yeah.
That's why Cam and them had to score so many points every game. I mean, they went to Louisville and lit Louisville up.
Yeah.
But Louisville scored, what was the final? 56-49 or something.
Right.
Okay. They ran a kickoff back. So I'm hoping special teams is a lot better this year on kickoff coverages. I mean, Miami was killing Louisville last year on offense. Louisville had no answer for all them out there. They was getting murdered out there. But Miami's secondary couldn't do nothing with their dudes at all. Same thing.
Nothing.
Couldn't do nothing with Cal's dudes. Couldn't do nothing with Syracuse dudes. So, I mean, I think this year is where they put it all together. This is the year they put it all together. The weapons are there. Mm-hmm. All the pieces are there. You got a very aggressive defensive coach now that's pretty much attack, straight up, hold your gaps and attack. We're not going to do all this stunting and mess. We're going to let my guys eat up front. And if he can do with them what he did with Minnesota, and I'm not taking nothing against the guys in Minnesota. He had some really decent dudes at Minnesota.
Right.
He didn't have what he got now.
I guess my take is, it's kind of like, when I go back, I look at what Gittrey did. It's kind of starting off what we think Heatherman would do. The problem is his boys, after the Florida game, they couldn't hold up in one-on-one coverage after the first game. We hoping that this new, better D-backs they got can hold up.
They can with Frederic and my man that came over from Wisconsin, and then you got old boy at safety out there that came from Tennessee. That was going to be starting for Tennessee this year at safety. You're going to see a real difference, especially with the communication. Heatherman is big on the communication.
Yeah.
You're going to see that. Again, last year you saw shades in the first game against Georgia, because Lagway, by about the third series, he drove Florida all the way down the field and scored against Miami's first team defense.
Right.
Bain was out of the game hurt.
Yeah.
But that secondary, they got carved up. And that was the first kink in the armor you saw with that secondary last year. And then they played with FAMU, and they played the other team. They shut out Bowling Green.
What was that? Ball State or something like that.
Ball State.
Yeah.
Then when they got to South Florida game, what happened? Number 2 was getting chewed up in the slot all game. He was chewing him up, especially in the first half. And then the Virginia Tech game, they really got exposed.
Yeah.
And it was on from there.
Yeah. Oh, it was on. They got the film was out on them.
So that was out the bag on their secondary then.
Yeah.
So now we got this year, and Mario and company did a really good job of showing up that secondary. And I think the one improvement you're going to see Shannon Dawson make at coordinator for the offense is he's going to run that ball more now.
Yeah. Got to control that clock.
When he got a lead, I'm going to pound you. Carson Beck don't care about numbers. He want to win.
Right.
He got a point to prove. So he know when it's time for him to do his thing, he gonna be able to do his thing because he got time. The thing about it is, if I got a lead, now I'm gonna pound you. This is the kind of football Mario played when he was there.
Right.
When he was on the line.
Right.
We gonna pound this. I said that's the advantage I give Miami over Notre Dame. If they can pound the rock in the first half and into the third quarter, you can beat that Notre Dame defensive line down.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna be able to stop you now.
Right.
Because they ain't got the size. I'm averaging 330 pounds on the O line. You averaging 290 pounds on your D line, and you telling me you're gonna stop these dudes?
Right. And the funny part that I used to think, even watching last year, I was a little down on Mario because I had to rethink this because I was like, man, they need to play ball control a little bit more. But really, they couldn't because they were scoring so quick.
The team kept scoring so
quick. They were scoring so quick. It was impossible for you to play ball control when you doing a 10-play drive, they scoring at 5. You know what I'm saying?
The one game, even in the Georgia Tech game, they should have did a little something. But the Syracuse game was the one game where, okay, they D-line can't match up with my O-line.
Right.
Even if I got to punt the ball, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm gonna do a little 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I'm gonna keep off tackle. I'm gonna keep some traps. I'm gonna keep running this ball at you. Right. I'm gonna get your boys wore out. So okay, you might be stopping me now, but as the game progresses, but as fast as Syracuse scored to make it 21-7, they felt like they had to come back and counter that. And then if you don't get a first down, you punting to them, and now it's 21-14.
Right.
You should have been kind of controlling that clock. Let's get in the huddle. Let's run this clock down a little bit, almost to zero, the play clock. Let's take our time walking up to the line of scrimmage, and
Because I guess the biggest thing that I found, I'm like, you knew how crappy the defense was playing. So you should have known, you should have been milking every ounce of that clock that you can milk.
With all 3 seasons, with the mistakes Mario made in games, they learned from that.
Yeah.
These are all his guys. They hungry. They ain't forgot the Middle Tennessee loss.
Right.
And that was coming off losing the game the week before.
Yeah.
When they came out for the game against Middle Tennessee, man, they didn't even look right.
Hey, I still get a lot of people hopping my DMs talking about that. And I'm just like, hey, a lot of teams got to have bad losses before they get better.
Look, they got their butts handed to them because they didn't even come out ready to play against Middle Tennessee, and Middle Tennessee took advantage of that.
Yeah. I mean, same thing almost happened in Notre Dame last year against Northern Illinois.
Right. How do you explain that?
Was it Northern Iowa? Northern Iowa. Was it Northern
Illinois?
Okay.
It was Northern Illinois at home.
Yeah.
So I mean, Jeremiah Love is a really good running back. He bad as hell. They showed I seen the highlights against Penn State, but when it came to the bigger games, he had over a buck against Indiana, but he didn't do nothing really against Texas, and he didn't do much against Georgia. They won them games, but it wasn't based on him.
Right.
So, and I know he got banged up toward the end. So I'm not taking nothing away from Jeremiah Love. And I ain't taking that. I'm not going to disrespect Notre Dame because they got a squad. They ain't to be taken lightly.
Nah.
I just think mano y mano, I think Miami D-line stack up with their O-line.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm looking at this first game. Miami has to treat it like a playoff game.
Yep.
They have to treat this as if you are who you say you are, where you want to be, where Mario's saying.
Yep.
You have to treat this game like it's a playoff game. Because you know what? They treating it like it's a playoff game. They coming on the road. Yep. They coming down to South Florida. They ain't been saying a lot. You ain't been hearing a lot in the news about the game or nothing like that. So they're going to be ready to play.
They not chirping because they know they got issues. They fans have been chirping, but they ain't saying nothing. And Miami ain't been chirping.
No, Miami fans not.
The team has been really out of each camp. They not talking smack.
Right.
Some of the fans are.
Right. But that's different.
I don't even talk smack to Notre Dame. I'm just looking at the analytics of position by position, where I give Miami the advantage and where I give Notre Dame the advantage.
Right.
I don't feed into the hype of the national media because they saying, well, Miami's breaking in a new defensive coordinator and a new secondary. Right. I'm going to say, hold it, pump your brakes, because Al Golden is no longer the defensive coordinator at Notre Dame, and you breaking in a new coordinator, and you breaking in 2 new safeties. They may have been on the team, but they still
and a new quarterback.
Your safeties from last year, they in the NFL now.
Right.
So you are kind of in the same boat like Miami with your secondary. Your cornerbacks are proven. They elite. I'll give them that. They got some elite corners. But they human too. They couldn't stop Jeremiah Smith last year for Ohio State in the national championship game.
Right.
So, I mean, we're going to see.
Yeah.
I give Miami the advantage with their offensive line versus their defensive line. I give Miami the advantage with their D-line up against they match up with their O-line.
Mm-hmm.
And I give Miami kind of the nod at linebacker. They're deeper at linebacker, and they got a lot of horses at linebacker.
Yeah.
Notre Dame got some elite receivers, but now I come to the question, who's going to throw them the ball?
Right. They got some pretty good corners too. Yeah.
Is he going to have time to run the ball, throw the ball?
Right.
2 freshmen, which one you going to roll with? You don't even know which one you want to roll with yet.
Right. Yeah.
You know, the only thing that scares me is
the funny part. Even before you finish that part, I think they do know who they're going to roll with. We two weeks out, they know. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is leaning toward the running quarterback, Michi or whatever his name is.
Uh-huh.
They say it's kind of leaning to him because they figure, you know what, they going off. Miami had trouble with mobile quarterbacks like a Haynes King in the past. Some other quarterbacks that may have ran on Miami defense. Now that's granted. There's some different guys out there, and that was Guidry's off defense where he was a lot. And when you stunting your tackling end a lot, it's going to open up something for the quarterback to take off and run if it's a design run. So I think they're leaning toward him over the Carr kid because Carr ain't had no touches. They might even play both of them in this game.
They might, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they I think if Miami 8 in the box, stop the run. You know, I'm thinking that's probably what they're going to do.
They don't need 8, brother. I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping that just Justin Scott boy and the other guy the guy they brought in for D tackle, he's supposed to be a monster as a run stopper. That's supposed to be his expertise. The other kid that's going to be next to Justin Scott at D tackle.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be the run stopper, dude. I'm hoping the front 4
Only reason I say 8, you put as much pressure on him. You know him running quarterback. You shut down all the lanes, and you make him throw the ball.
In that case, yes. In that case, yes. The only thing that if Love come out and get 5, 6, 7 yards a pop running the ball,
we're in trouble. Yeah,
we in trouble.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
They can stop him, 2, 3, 4 yards, get a couple tackle for loss. Let Notre Dame know, hey man, y'all got a good old line, but we coming. We got some killers up front. It's going to force them to have to make some adjustments. And that, I know the Carr kid can throw. He can throw.
Right.
We're going to see.
Another way you put a lot of pressure on them, get up on them on the scoreboard.
Well, there you go. That's Miami got to jump out. And they're going to need some help on special teams. I think they need to either set them up real good with nice kickoff return or the dude they got from BYU need to come and do what he did at BYU and run one back.
Right.
I think that's critical, man.
Yeah, you get up on them, you force them where they have to abandon the run. Hey, I think you can do some things then, make them into a passer.
I gotta let my cat know.
So I just think that looking at that game, we're gonna find out a lot about both teams. We're gonna find out how good Notre Dame's quarterback is. We're gonna find out how good Miami defense is. Revamp.
That's right.
One. So this is somebody put Brad Newsom he said Carson Becker's going to be great. I'm a Georgia fan. Hey, welcome in the room, Brad Newsom. Glad to have you, man.
Newsom, I really think Carson hungry, man, because they compared his number to Nussmeier numbers at LSU, and they damn near equal.
Right.
So why is Nussmeier being touted as so great, and then Beck, people just dumping on him like he just?
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of Georgia Nation in their feelings, and Kirby know he let a good one get away. He know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Georgia fans think they're gonna be better with the guy they got now.
Who they got? Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that away.
I don't know a lot about Gunnar. He didn't look good when he first came in, but I mean, he came in at a they kind of threw him to the fire, and he was under a lot of pressure. So I'm not tapped in enough to speak on Gunnar Stockton.
And the Georgia fans were really honest about it, man. The reason why Beck had a rougher season is because a couple of your old linemen that were really good got hurt. And I think one or two of them went to the NFL.
Right.
Your running game was not there. It wasn't there. And your receivers had 36 drops, man. He was throwing the ball to wide open guys right in their hands, and they dropped them. A lot of first downs that could have kept drives going. But Beck is the one that led them back against Alabama last year when they was down like 28 to something, whatever. Beck led them back.
Right.
And if old boy, the Miami dude that left Miami to go to Georgia, if he would have caught the touchdown in the end zone, Georgia would have won the game.
Yeah.
And the next time he went to him, he wimped out and didn't knock it away and let the Alabama dude pick it off.
Yeah.
That was on the receiver. That wasn't on Beck.
Right.
So, I mean, if Georgia fans were really honest about it, come on, man. Just be real about it.
Yeah.
Beck was your guy. Don't knock him and don't bring up, well, he wasn't much of a guy in the locker room. Stop the noise.
But the funny part when I watch Locked On Dogs, just to get, I don't think that like you say, the people there, they not really against it. I think it's the fans, the fans more like that,
But the coaching staff, Kirby tried to keep him. Because if he would have healed up, and stayed at Georgia, he wouldn't have stayed. Even if he would have decided to come back after the injury to play one more year, they would have been happy. They'd have been tickled to death that he stayed another year, and they would have Kirby would have did a whole lot more to protect him this time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely.
He would have made sure that line was right. He'd have had a running back or two back there in the backfield, because I don't know what Georgia bringing to the table this year. I really don't. I don't follow Georgia, but I don't know what they got, what they bring to the table as far as running backs to be behind Stockton.
Well, they got a bunch of 5-stars, so
they got
some guys coming in. I'm pretty sure.
What's their O-line gonna look like? Is Gunnar Stockton gonna have to run for his life, or your receivers gonna catch the ball for him this year? The ones you got, because you lost a lot of receivers to the NFL. You lost our boy from East St. Louis. The dude that came from Miami got kicked off the team for domestic crap, beating up on his gal or whatever, so he gone.
Yeah.
So who you got at receiver now?
Yeah.
That's why it's a lot of question marks around Georgia, but I digress, because I don't know much about Georgia. I'm not going to say they are or not what they're supposed to be. That's for them to figure out when they play up against their other SEC opponents. Right now, the favorites look like LSU. They really riding hard on LSU in Texas.
Yeah. They are. They riding super hard on them.
I mean, Bama gonna be there, but what is Bama gonna look like?
Yeah.
I don't think Auburn's gonna be all that. Tennessee got a lot of question marks. We don't know. I don't really know much about Missouri.
Right.
Ole Miss, same thing. A&M got a squad coming back. I think A&M gonna be in the top four. It could possibly be in the top four to SEC.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be a Big 12 takeover.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Big 12?
The Big 12 team. No, I mean the Big 12 teams that came over to the SEC.
I'm going to say
your Texas, your Oklahoma, because quiet as kept, ain't nobody talking about Oklahoma. Your A&M, your A&M.
Oklahoma got to play a little bit better than they played last year.
They came on strong toward the end.
Yeah.
I think Oklahoma, Texas, A&M, these are all Big 12 schools. Missouri surprised you again, the Big 12 schools. And your traditional SEC schools, hey, look out.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let's take this one. Take a couple of questions before we get out here. Say, I really believe Hellerman is going to have Miami defense bodying like some 100-year-old. Yeah, hey, I'm excited to see Hellerman's.
I'm excited to see this defense. I really am. I'm really excited to see what they do.
Yeah.
How they come out and play. Because what I'm hearing and reading about the practices, they are saying that these practices are shades of what it used to be like.
Yeah.
very intense. It's very, very intense. No one side of the ball is, today the defense might be a little dominant, but tomorrow the offense is being dominant, and they're really challenging each other, especially in the secondary with the receivers and the line play. And that's what you want to see. If Bain going up and Mesidor going hard up against our tackles, and they win in today, and then tomorrow Bain can't get around. That's telling me something.
He says we're going to take a couple of more before we get out here. Say those same receivers dropped some in preseason last night. He talking about those same Georgia receivers. I'm
gonna be honest with you, man. I really think.
Oh man,
I really think that's why the Cable Sports Network did what they did by pushing for Texas and Oklahoma to come over to the SEC, because they seen the writing on the wall. They saw that their reign at the top was starting to come to an end, and they saw that here's the Big Ten now. You keep shitting on the ACC, but here they are now. They worried about Miami. They worried about Clemson. They worried about SMU. They really worried about Ohio State and Oregon and Penn State.
Right.
They worried about that Big Ten and Michigan. They worried about them. So if their product is not going to be there, man, we better get over there and we better get over to the Big 12 and get Texas and Oklahoma now.
Right.
Get them over here to the SEC now, because if we don't get them, your Bamas and Georgias and LSUs, when they stack up against Big Ten and ACC schools, guess what? It's even now.
Yeah, it's super even.
It's even now.
You can see it now. So
even now, ain't gonna be no more of all the 5 stars over here on Bama bench.
Right.
And then poor Miami or Duke get out there, or somebody get, and the only team that can really match up with them was Clemson. Well, that was in 17 and 18.
Right.
And 20 and 16 and all. And this now.
Well, and that's what Rhett Lashley talking about. He talking about the parity now. So it's a different time, and you got to get your talent at home, and you got to develop your talent, and you got to get 3 stars and make them into 4 stars, 4 stars and make them into 5 stars.
It's some kids in South Florida right now that's lighting it up in high school. Edison High School. I got to watching on that. They one of their receivers is already committed to Miami. The quarterback is committed to Illinois. Illinois coming down there now. Everybody want to come down to South Florida to get a taste of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
And Illinois got a program now.
Yeah.
Illinois is another team in the Big Ten that's sneaky good.
Sneaky good, yeah. They would have been okay. They just fell off at the end of the season last year.
Sneaky good. Them going out to Oregon, getting their butts whooped by Oregon. They needed that as a program. They needed that to see where they are, how they stack up.
Right.
Hey, I ain't sleeping on Illinois. If they could tap in and get some of them boys from East St. Louis and them kids out of Chicago, watch out.
He said, it's a Georgia fan. We have questions at offensive line and quarterback. They said, but our defense is going to be very good. Yeah, that Georgia defense is always pretty good.
They always have some killers on defense.
Yeah, so you can't knock that defense. It's just how much can they and in the SEC, you got to be able to score that ball. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I don't know enough about Gunner. I only watched just when he played in the playoffs, and I honestly believe if Carson Beck would have played, they probably would have went further in the playoffs. But that's all. Yeah, but Gunner didn't have the experience. Now, guys, we're going to have to wrap this show up early this week only because I have a fantasy draft in about 1 hour. So I appreciate everybody tapping into the building.
How many tap in today?
We had about 60-something.
Okay.
Also, next week on this show, we will have Notre Dame fans on here with Eric and I. We're going to discuss the up-and-coming matchup. So we're going to have Notre Dame fans in the building, of course. Let's show them some love. Take us on out of here before we get out of here.
We'll be back at our normal time next week. 2 weeks from now, on the 31st, we'll probably be early because I got my draft at 1 p.m. Central Time, which is 2 p.m. down there. So we'll be same time in 2 weeks. Next week, for all the folks that tapped in, come in with the questions. Come in with the phone calls because we got some Notre Dame people here. There's a lot of Notre Dame people here in St. Louis and in Missouri. that want to tap in. So I know a couple of them. I'm gonna invite them.
Hey, tell them to come on. Hey,
I'm gonna invite him. One of them went to school with after me, but he went to Riverview with us. Another one is went to McClure State. They played the state my senior year.
Okay.
I'm gonna tap into both of them. Say, hey man, call in, tap in, whatever.
Right.
We need our fans to. Hey, we gonna don't be in your feelings. We come in about the position play.
Right.
That's what it's gonna come down to in 2 weeks.
Right.
Now, 2 weeks, y'all. Saturday gonna be a great day with games. I'm gonna watch the Texas-Ohio State game. I'm gonna watch Alabama-Florida State.
Right.
I'm gonna watch LSU-Clemson.
Yeah.
That Saturday, I'm locked in. But Sunday is our day.
Right.
I'm having to get together, Dwayne. So I know I want you to come over. I'm gonna have the flags, banners hanging from the house. It's gonna be cracking. But that's the day people call in, come in with the questions.
Hey, let us know in the chats too if you want us to go. Want us to go live? I can come over there and we can go live before the game. We can get it cracking. Y'all just let me know. Put it in chat. Send me an email or DM me on Twitter or on or X, whatever you want to call it, or Instagram. Either or, I check them all. So let me know what you guys want, because it's all about you guys out there.
Right, it's about you fans out there. Like I said, we're not privy to all the information. Being in Missouri, we can't get to the practices and see what you all can see. But, you know, it's a lot of Canes love out here. The further west you go, this is everywhere.
Right.
I was in Europe. I see it everywhere. So tap in. We're going to have Notre Dame people here. Let's get it cracking. Because
all right. And before I get out of here, if you guys playing fantasy football, good luck to you guys. And we're out.
Go Canes.
Okay, there we go.